Hello everyone, welcome to 10 Minutes Astrology. Once a week, me and Alejo will meet each other here, talk about astrology and share some idea how to learn and interpret astrology. Hello, Alejo, how are you?
Hi, Rod, how are you?
Well, I'm still in another side of the world, you know.
I know you are still in a different time zone, yes.
Yeah. So, well, Alejo, um, do you have any news to share?
Well, I do have something, I do have a webinar coming up. It's not a
Yeah.
workshop, so I've been doing this workshop on how to do chart synthesis. If you couldn't
Uh-huh.
attend,
Yeah.
it's going to be a webinar on the 24th, which is it's just 1 hour and a half to kind of give you the theory behind on how, with a chart example, of course, on how to do chart synthesis. So if you struggle with that,
Ooh,
you should come. Yes, it's on astrology. It's the
definitely.
Faculty of Astrological Studies.
Yeah, so that would be really, really helpful for especially for the beginner of the astrology because usually how to put everything together and how to find the theme, and that usually the challenge. We also in the Academy of Astrology we have an event also on the same day on the 24th of February. It's David Costello.
Ah,
Yeah, David Costello.
David
David,
Costello. Yeah, of
yeah.
course.
Darby going to teach the relationship in the chart. So if you are interested in this subject, please come to contact us. Okay. Well, so Alejo, we are talking about Saturn from the first house, second house, third house,
I
and
just want
every
to
time
say, if you have, can I say something?
yeah, go on then.
I know I interrupt, but because there's a delay, it sounds like I'm interrupting. But if you have the opportunity to go and have a webinar with David Costello, you should go. This is what I'm saying.
Oh, thank you, Alejo. But also, I mean, chart synthesis
Yes.
is very
Yes.
important. Okay, we do the double advertising to each other. Okay,
Of course.
well,
Okay.
so yeah, so we are talking about the Saturn, and now we move to the Saturn in the fourth house. I'm so looking forward to this episode because for some reason I will tell Alejo later. So Alejo, we're going to talk about the Saturn in the Fourth house. Should we just beginning with a little bit of remind what Saturn is about in astrology? Oh,
Okay, so Saturn, we said it's about restrictions, limitations, a sense of judgment. It could be self-judgment or judging others. And it's usually a place where we feel some kind of fear to go. We fear that area of the chart because we don't know if we have what it takes to be
mhm.
the best at that area. And usually because of that, we will work in that area, and with time we will develop all of these qualities and will become the best in that.
Yes, indeed. So when you think about Saturn, don't just thinking about something is bad going to happen because in one side it is unpleasant because we never like doing the homework. But in another way, if you study hard, if you work up, usually you will get some rewards. Well, it's not guaranteed, but most
Yes.
likely you will get some reward. Okay, so we are going to talk about Saturn in the fourth house. So Alejo, what does it mean when Saturn moves into the fourth house?
So the fourth house is about origin, it's about our family, where we come from.
Mm-hmm,
And it's also the foundation of our being, it's what's lying in the foundation of our being.
mm-hmm,
So with Saturn there, we might think that our sense of rooting, our sense of belonging to a family has been somewhat challenge has been somewhat felt restricted. Perhaps we felt somewhat rejected by our families. Perhaps we felt
mm-hmm,
there was not enough support. So that's perhaps in the foundation of our beings, there's this feeling or this fear of being alone or being
mm-hmm,
abandoned in some ways.
mm-hmm,
Again, because Saturn is there, we're going to develop qualities there. We're going to be drawn probably to that area. And what we might come to learn is that actually we can survive on our own. We're going to come to learn
mm-hmm,
to self nourish ourselves, to self
mm-hmm,
care. We're going to learn how to self care, and of course, it doesn't mean we're going to be alone for the rest of our lives. We
mm-hmm,
could actually create a family. We could actually create a home that actually has a
mm-hmm,
very solid foundation because
Mm,
with Saturn, what we're going to go through, probably what we're going to experience through life, is to see what is our basic need that we need to feel supported and taken care of. And once we find that, we can create a family that responds to this need. Because Saturn in the fourth, I would say, is a person who gives a lot of importance to
hmm.
family and belonging. Maybe because
Definitely.
they feel it's something that they didn't have so much access to, but it's something that they
Hmm.
will want to build. They will want to build a strong family, probably a strong sense of
Yeah,
belonging.
yeah. One thing I like to say is usually the Saturn's house or Saturn's sign or Saturn's aspect usually make us raise the question about that thing. So when Saturn in the fourth house, it raises question about the family and the belonging. So who am I belong to? What part of the world I belong to? Or what does the family mean for me or for everyone? So it raises a lot of questions around the family and the belonging and the where I'm from. And that is really interesting because once people start thinking, ask about where I'm from, that becomes so philosophical.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
also
Yes.
definition about belonging. What how I'm related to the place I am. And that is usually very interesting. So, Alejo, today our case study is
Well, today our case study is one of your heroes,
yes, my heroes.
Antoine Jean-Baptiste Marie Roger de Saint-Exupéry,
God, his
or
full
best
name
known
is so
as
long. Yeah.
yeah, best known as the writer of The Little Prince. But yes.
Oh, yeah. Saint-Exupéry is one of my hero, to be honest. I think my childhood, I know that Petit Prince. I start to read it once a year. It's like my Bible. It's like my Bible, to be
Ah,
honest.
wow, so interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting until I had enough of him when I studied in the university. When I get trying to get my get my degree, I have to study the French literature, and every day is about him. I was like, okay, I had enough.
Mhm.
So that's very interesting, and we see in the chart he has the Saturn in the fourth house. So, Ariel, how do you feel about this four house Saturn related to Saint-Exupéry?
So, to be honest, I don't know that much about him, uh, but I'm thinking about his work, Le Petit Prince,
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
and I'm thinking about the journey of this little prince who's trying to
Yes,
find the place where he belongs.
exactly, exactly. That's why when you're talking about this case, I was like, that's exactly how what this little Petit Prince doing in his journey. He's trying to it is kind of a journey to find where he belonged to, and eventually he find out, no, I still belong to my planet,
Hmm.
rather
Yes.
than everywhere in the world he met different person, he questioned what they are doing, and that is a very interesting book. And I think there's just so many quote in that book that is asking people to think, what are you doing in this world, and what's your purpose, and why are you doing this? What are you doing is a really fit into your original purpose of your life, and that is very very interesting. Especially, I think that belonging, sense of belonging, is the major theme of his book, the Petit Prince. So yes,
And
it's very interesting. Yeah, go on.
I would say also the idea of the foundations, because I think the fourth
Mm-hmm.
house is so much about what gives us a sense of foundations, what gives us a sense of, okay, this is where I stand. To do everything I
Uh-huh.
do I stand on my fourth house, right? So with Saturn
Yeah.
here in the fourth house, there is a question. I really like what you said about Saturn is a planet that brings questions about that area of life.
Mm-hmm.
There is a
Mm-hmm.
question about, okay, what is the foundation of my being? What is it
Mm-hmm.
that I stand from? This sense of restriction and
Mm-hmm.
limitation, this sense of
Mm-hmm.
self-judgment is actually
Mm-hmm.
asking us the question, what is the essence of the foundations of your being? Where do you
Mm-hmm.
stand
Mm-hmm.
from in order to achieve what you achieve?
Yeah, and I really like the thing when we see his chart, Saturn is kind of opposite to that Neptune. Just need double check. Is yeah, I think it's um opposition, but that with the different signs. So Neptune in the Gemini opposite Saturn in the 1 degree of that Capricorn, and I think he has that powerful imagination, and then he kind of make it happen. Himself is a pilot. We know that himself is a pilot. He's a wartime pilot, and then he was disappeared. He was disappeared, during the his mission of sending the post. People would doubt he was eventually his airplane crash outside of maybe Morocco somewhere, and
Mm.
that was become his a legend. So his work, Saint-Exupéry, he's pretty part. Is a part of his work, but we know he loved his country. That's why during the Second World War he was like involved in the war and become a pilot, and then deliver the mail and the things to all around the world. Um, and I think that Saturn make him, to show his love to his land, to his country too. So I don't want to say he's totally nationalism, but that Saturn is make him stick with the ground, with where he belonged to, and
I
that
mean,
also, yeah,
I think he's also Sun in Cancer in the 11th. I
yeah,
think this also
true,
is about my group is my family, my country.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I think the Saturn in Capricorn, perhaps in the fourth, with this idea of the foundations, gave him the discipline, the stamina to
mm,
stand by his values and
yeah,
get involved. This idea of it is my duty as part of
hmm,
of this family, which is my country, to do
yeah,
this.
yeah. So interesting. And then I have the idea about when he talking about his responsibility, because
Yeah.
I still remember, because his love to that flower, he loved to the rose, to the little
Mm.
rose. Then the word he uses now, I love her rose. He say, I have responsibility to this rose, and that is Saturn in the fourth house.
Yeah.
You know, he really stick with his duty, and then he said, so that's the reason I have to go home. I have a responsibility to her. I was like, such a beautiful story. I mean, since my teenagers, that book become one of my Bible, and was so important for me, because I think the one reason is because the way he described the death, how the little prince going to face the death, and it
Mm.
was interesting because his Saturn is in the wildly opposite sun, but also in the fourth house. I don't want to say fourth house is about death in some traditional way. Fourth house is one way to see as a death, but not 100%. But I can say in the book, the way he talk about the death really give me another idea, because he say the body is too heavy. I want to go home. I couldn't carry this
Mm.
body to go home. So, so he had to give up this physical body. Saturn, body is too
Mm.
heavy. And then that Saturn opposite the sun, or Saturn opposite the Neptune, has that meaning about if I want to go home, I have to let go of my body. And I myself, I have a little bit anxiety about this. Since every day I can question myself about some question related to death. So when I start to read the pretty plans, it give me some help. It give me some help. Maybe one way to imagine that about death would be like what the little prince says about, body's too heavy, so I couldn't carry it home.
Wow. Yeah, very, very powerful ideas. Thank you, Rod.
Yeah. No, thank you for showing me this chart, because I can talk about him all day. But anyway, I think we have to stop here. Wait, I was like suddenly, because computer is a little slow. Said, "Where's Alejo?" So thanks everyone for watching Listen to Miss Astrology today. And if you like, please subscribe and also leave us some comment. And also don't forget Alejo has his webinar on the 24th, right? 24th of February
Yes.
about chart sentence. And we also have a David Costello talking about the relationship in the chart. So please contact us and we will send you the message, all right? So next time we're going to talk about Saturn in the fifth house. Stay in tune. Bye-bye.
Bye.